Wonderful. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor and Councillors, for the opportunity to speak to our submission on the draft long-term plan. I'm joined today by a member of our Executive Committee, Tim Dearsley, who's General Manager of the Ibis Hotel, and Lisa Goodman, who's the CCBA Manager. During the CCBA's existence of 8 years, we have had a very positive, constructive relationship with the City Council and its staff. We look forward to continuing to work with you to ensure the economic viability of the new central city. We appreciate that tough financial decisions need to be made for this long-term plan and agree with the comments made by the Canterbury Chamber of Commerce that there needs to be a significant emphasis on strategic thinking. Long-term benefits must be weighed up against short-term savings, given the level of investment planned by both the Council, Sarah and the Central City. A significant part of our submission focuses on car parking, and because we've only got 10 minutes, we're just going to talk to you on that. We appreciate that in the past 6 to 12 months, the Council and Sarah have been listening to concerns raised by Central City businesses and looking at solutions. We note that the recent adoption of the Christchurch Central Parking Plan, which correctly notes that increased certainty about the current availability and future provision of parking in the Central City is important for providing confidence in the rebuild of a thriving Central City. We couldn't agree more with that statement. It reflects our concerns outlined in paragraph 23 of our submission. Certainty around parking is critical for Central City's economic viability, not just in the future, but right now. We know this from hard data and anecdotal feedback that we've had, and Tim is going to talk to us about hotel experience in that regard.
Thank you. So the Ibis Hotel has been open since September 2012, so we've been open for 2 years and 7 months. And in that time, we've had over 170,000 people stay in the hotel, which is quite a lot of people to be right in the heart of the CBD. We have a total of 22 car parks that we have available in our basement, and also we lease a small park next to the hotel. And over that period of time, we've sold 16,000 car parks. So if you think about the number of people staying in a room, it's approximately 15% of everybody that stay, every room we sell a car park to. It's in our top 3 of comments from all guests about the lack of parking in the city. And that's now, that's not in the future when we've got the Justice Precinct with, I understand, no car parking available, with the building across the road from us opening later this year, with again no parking for any visitors. So it is a major concern for us moving forward, not just our hotel, but all of the hospitality in this long-term parking.
Thank you very much, Tim. Lisa's going to give us some feedback from CCBA members that she's able to talk to.
Well, I just wanted to add, part of my role is to walk around the Central City and talk to our members, the businesses who are in there now, and find out how things are going. And every time I have a conversation, there are always 2 key issues that are very important. One is access, and there is a recognition that that is difficult at the moment with the need for the continuing infrastructural repairs. But the second issue is car parking. It is always car parking. Particularly, so this feedback is from our retail and hospitality members. They receive feedback from their customers who try to come into town and get a car park and can't, quite often because workers in the city have taken whatever available parks there are early in the day. And also feedback from those same businesses that they also find it difficult for their own business needs in terms of finding adequate car parking. So we're constantly receiving this feedback, and that's something we wanted to stress today.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So momentum around planning for short and long-term car parking, both temporary and permanent, must continue to be a high priority for Council. car parking is an example of needing to weigh up the long-term benefits against short-term savings that I referred to earlier. So we strongly recommend that the Council urgently progresses the process underway with the private sector to explore permanent parking. Secondly, the Council should be reviewing expenditure on car parking as an investment, bringing in a financial return, providing social as well as economic benefit, as it would ensure more people would come to the central city. Before the earthquake, the Council used to earn $11 million profit from car parking. It is a money-making exercise for Council. Third point, greater attention also needs to be paid to exploring low-cost, short-term solutions as detailed in paragraph 25 of our submission. Fourth point, we would also want to highlight the proposal in paragraph 29 of our submission for some incentive in the short term for people to come into the central city to shop, to play or to do business. A period where the first hour of Council off-street parking is free would, in our view, be a great start. So our final point on this issue is that we look forward to greater clarification of financial details outlined in the draft LTP's capital programme for car parking. We're keen to continue working with Council and staff on solutions for parking. Madam Mayor and Councillors, this is an exciting time for the Central City. Despite the gloom that can often be reported by the media, commercial momentum is returning. Our members are essentially the pioneers. They have the faith in the city and are excited by its future. Many are small, independently owned businesses without any corporate backing. The Council can help them to survive and thrive by ensuring that good infrastructure and measures to alleviate the impacts of the rebuild are in place while the central city is being rebuilt around them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Paul.
Thank you for your submission. I just want to ask one question. It's around parking. You talked about us working with other parties. Do you think it's important or a must-have that the council owns all the facilities, or do you think that some of these parking facilities could be provided by the private sector?
I don't think it matters a hoot whether they're owned by the council or private sector. The important thing is to provide car parking. I think there's an opportunity for both public and private ownership of car parking. I don't think it matters. Council does not need to own them.
In other major cities, there's plenty of car parking buildings owned by private investors, and they're extremely happy with their returns.
Well, there are in other parts of the country as well.
That's right.
I mean, I've been up to what's that shopping mall up in Auckland where you get your first 2 hours free as long as you produce a ticket from one of the retailers to Wilson's parking. So I mean, they control it up there. Yanni.
Thank you. Yeah, really thank you for your submission on the central city car parking. I welcome the fact you've said it is a strategic asset. I'm just trying to understand. So if it's a strategic asset and it's bringing in income, why wouldn't you want council to retain it and have it so that it helped us with our financial situation? I mean, I can't quite understand. It doesn't matter if it's private or public. If it's money that we have in our existing parking buildings and it brings in income, what is the sense of having it being done by the private sector as opposed to us?
I would love the council to build the car parking, but we've been 5 years and when there's not one public car park building being started in the central city, we can't wait any longer. We realise there's a shortage of cash, of capital, and we're providing a solution, suggesting a solution, just like the Chamber of Commerce did just before. We think there is an opportunity there for you to have outside providers. You're short of capital, whether you like it or not. Just like I personally am short of capital in the terrace project, and I've had to sell some of that off in order to be able to finish it. Council needs to be doing the same thing.
Phil?
Thank you. Tim referred to concern about time for people or parking places for people staying at the hotel, and I guess that's sort of referred to as longer term or long stay parking. I'm just wondering what from your perspective, do you have more concern though about lack of availability or shortage of short stay parking or longer stay for commuters? I just wondering.
Both really. The short-term parking and the long-term parking in terms of overnight people can work in well together. For example, before the earthquake, the hotel guests would be able to park in a public park or a privately owned park overnight, which didn't interfere with the long-term parking during the daytime or short-term.
Did you have arrangements? You know,
Yes,
I was going to ask
absolutely.
you the same question.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but with our car park buildings?
Yes, certainly.
What was close to you?
The closest one to us was actually in the Grand Chancellor, so it wasn't ideal.
I actually think the
It
critical...
was the Wilson's Park in the Grand Chancellor
You know,
building.
but with the council.
Oh, with the council,
Yeah.
Litchfield Street, people could park there during the day, not overnight though.
No, see, that's the
But
thing.
we would have been happy to have, and if the council was to have a parking building reasonably close, we'd be extremely happy to have an arrangement.
Right, but the arrangements that you had for
Were with the
overnight
private
parking
ones,
were with
yes.
the private sector.
But we would be very willing to have that kind of arrangement with council.
Yeah.
I would comment that it's the short-term need that is really concerning the retailers in town. Long-term, if you don't provide them, you read this situation in Victoria Street where they now can't let office space because they haven't provided parks for their office workers.
Yeah,
Simple.
I mean, the thing is that and it's a hugely challenging area, but it does relate to the CCRP, the Central City Recovery Plan, which doesn't require long-term parks with buildings anymore. So there are issues. Phil, and then that will be the last
So
question.
it was, in a recent council report, it was the short stay parking that raised the highest concern too. So I'm just wondering if this is a case where, in fact, your association should have further discussions with the council staff to especially resolve this short stay issue.
Yeah, but it may in fact be exacerbated, you know, by the lack of short stay parks.
Yes.
The long-term issue is actually exacerbated by it. But I mean, there's been parking loss from the private as well as the public.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, we've got a number of challenging issues. But look, the submission is crystal clear. It's been heard. We have got obviously arrangements with the crossing, so that there will be car parking provided with that as part of an agreement with the council. And obviously we've got our what do you call it, expression of interest that we had out, the RFP that will be coming back to council any time now soon. So we will be considering this matter as a priority.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, if we could go to another very important part of the city, to New Brighton, and if we could have the New Brighton Business and Landowners Association.